Well, meditation is like everything else you do in life. There's ups and downs. There's the rough bumps. There's the fun bumps. There's an ongoing relationship. So everyone has a relationship to meditation, whether they meditate or not. Because whenever you have experienced happiness, unqualified happiness, whether you were doing something or not, or you experienced unqualified love, or you felt one with nature or one with everything, that's a state of meditation. Mm-hmm. So whether you were trying to get there or not, you had that experience. So meditation can come to you. So it doesn't really require that you go to it. If you're lucky. But when you go to it, there's also an obstruction you create to meditation. You have your ideas, and your ideas want to be fulfilled. And instead, when you go out and walk in nature, you might spontaneously have a oneness experience, but you didn't go out to try to get that there. And sometimes when you're with someone you love, you might have a oneness of love experience, but you didn't go there to be with that person to try to get that. So there's all sorts of spontaneous meditation experiences of the transcendental, of who you really are, what love is, what happiness is, that occur naturally. But when people try to meditate, they make it unnatural. So people have meditated many years and cannot come to that state most easily. It's because you're doing it unnaturally. Your meditation is unnatural. So how to make your meditation unnatural? Well, trying to make it natural is just the same way as making it worse. But what I'm trying to do, talking about meditation, is get you to relax a little bit around it. And to say, since meditation does come to you at different times, and they've come to me, and not particularly when I sit down to meditate, then meditation is occurring for me, for everyone, and therefore it has a very special place in everybody's life, rather than it's something you do to get somewhere spiritually. Meditation is not really something you do to get somewhere spiritually. But it's noticing, I go to nature and sometimes I feel oneness. Or sometimes I love somebody, I feel the love of everyone in my heart. So I'm going to sit in meditation because I want to experience that reality, which we all actually are. So how do you get there? You just have to sit and be open. See, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to get. It's going to happen. Why? Why did it happen when you were walking out in nature? Why did it happen when you were...
It's always there.
It's always there, and you relax and are open and accept. Yeah. It's not like you go and conquer it, or you figure it out, or you mentalize it, and you have great techniques, and you do those techniques. You force your mind to obey. It's not really like that. I mean, you can have interesting experiences doing that, and people have. But whether that's an authentic enlightenment experience or dawns enlightenment for you, I'd have to question that. And that's also a very, I have to say, masculine way of approaching enlightenment. Because enlightenment is already here. Like I said, we all experience it in many ordinary ways, where we know our happiness is not dependent because this happened today. We say, this is an unreasonable happiness. That's enlightenment shining through. Or I feel unreasonably love, and it's nothing to do with a particular thing happening to you, or a particular thing done to you, or you're doing a particular thing. So we all have that. So how to sit in meditation like that's true of you, rather than it's some kind of science that you're going to study, or some kind of method, or some kind of technique or strategy that you're going to do to get enlightened. to have a oneness experience in which you already are that one. Good luck. That's why people have meditated many years, had different glimpses, different experiences, because you do anything long enough, the odds are it's bound to happen. Something's bound to happen. The same way as you just walk out in nature, you're bound to notice a lake and go, wow, that's so beautiful. I feel that one with the lake. That's bound to happen. So sometimes your mind can be incessantly talking. Your emotions can be all reactive. And then you drop into this already happy state. And you go, how did I get there? Well, obviously it didn't have anything to do with those things, nor controlling those things. Uh-oh. If it's not about controlling those things, how did I get here? So everyone approaches meditation about how to control your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, your body. It's not really any of those things. I'm not against any of those things. But if you do something because you love it, because there's passion, and you put yourself there, it will occur naturally. That's what I'm saying. So you read my book, it wasn't because I was trying so hard.
No.
Yeah. So over the years, everybody's been engaged in different things. Like you like art a lot, right? So you're engaged in art. Can you imagine having a life not doing art? No. But you look at it and say, wow, look at all these great achievements. Look at what a great artist I am. No. So, but what you do have is the love for it and the satisfaction. So if you can approach meditation as love, something you love to do, slowly, as you love something, you'll become satisfied by it. So that you've done all this meditation all these years and not satisfied by it, you overlooked satisfaction. You're trying to get somewhere with some idea you have. You're trying to force oneness and love and transmission. That's the difference between me and you. I didn't force any of it. But I went with it. I sat with it. I looked forward to it. It's like over the years I loved hiking a lot. And so what happens at the end of each hike? You go through, your feet are tight, it's hot as cold, you ran out of water, whatever. Your ankle's killing you. But what happens at the end of each hike? Satisfaction. Cereal. And cereal. Or cookies. So what happens at the end of the day taking care of 3 kids?
Satisfaction. Like, go to bed tired.
Go to bed tired. So anything you like doing, and even the things you don't like doing, but the things you like doing, you recognize the satisfaction when you've completed something good. But you get out the next day knowing what? You're going to do more of it. And all you're going to do with the more is arrive at some more satisfaction. So if meditation is seen and understood as satisfaction for you, then why wouldn't you meditate? As it seems as something you have to do to get to some kind of goal and it doesn't seem to be happening, why would you do it? Why wouldn't you give up? Right? All you're doing is sitting there. How hard is that? Like try to hike Half Dome. So if you can get such great satisfaction over sitting and giving your life to that moment, to that sitting, if you can get such great satisfaction, you can even wake up. It's a lot easier than hiking Half Dome, I'm telling you. It's the easiest thing you could ever do. Not the hardest, the easiest. Hike Half Dome. You want to do something hard. But when you do the hard things, it reflects to you that it was worth it. But what about the easy things? Is it worth it? The easy things? Like just sitting there? How easy can it be? Maybe you don't believe there's any satisfaction. It's too easy. So you make it hard. I don't know. Just make this hard. I'm just sitting here.
Put ourselves in front of ourselves.
Well, everybody's read a lot of spirituality, and even when you haven't, you still have your own ideas. Came from somewhere. Maybe you made them up, I don't know, or you just got them through Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club spin. I don't know. Where you pick up these things.
Some of it's in there.
Some of it. Yeah. Wherever we pick up anything. Well, we picked up a lot of things about falling in love. Right? We picked up a lot of things of the career. We picked up a lot of things, fame and fortune. And all of that is supposed to give us an experience of divine oneness? Not really. But what was it supposed to give us? Some pleasurable satisfaction. So we do a lot of things, and we are satisfied. And meditation can be one of those things that you can be satisfied. Do you have to have a certain kind of experience to be satisfied? No. That would be saying, I have to hike Half Dome, and I have to put it down to a science. Exactly 3 quarts of water. Exactly those shoes, because they've been tested by 50 scientists to be the best hiking shoes. You know, you have to have all that studied and figure it out before you can hike Half Dome. But what is the best experience of anything? Doing it and doing it and doing it until one time you do it, you say, oh, that was really fun and satisfying. So meditation you should have a relationship of that satisfaction with it, instead of it's just something you do to get somewhere and you hope you get there. Mostly it's complicated, but it's not. I like breaking things down to that even the dumbest idiot could do it. Because who really gets enlightened? It's mostly the dumb idiots.
Oh, good, I got a shot.
You feel good.
I got this.
Nobody's really all that spectacular, I'm telling you. I mean, some people can hike Half Dome barefoot. Wow. That's pretty cool. Could I ever do that if I tried? Yes. Could any of you do it if you really tried? Yes. Why is that? Why do you know that?
Because I've tried other stuff.
Yeah, because you've done other stuff that were hard.
Yeah. So you tried meditation and tried meditation and tried meditation. Right? But most of you still think of it as hard. Instead of, wow, I got this big pile of satisfaction. I want to do some more tomorrow. Right? So how did meditation get a bad name? Something too hard. It's too hard to do. I can't sit still! You've been sitting still all night.
I'm good at it.
How good at it? Awesome, see? Within 20 minutes, your whole perception changes. You don't have to be good at it. You have to be satisfied. That's it. Whatever happens doesn't matter. What happens on the way to Half Dome stays on the way to Half Dome. It doesn't matter. The satisfaction comes from finishing it. Right? So if you finish your meditation each day, there should be satisfaction. All you have to do is sit there. And you can make it up. You can say, well, I'll say no to thoughts today. Or I can feel my heart today. Or what else? I can sing a song today.
Say your name,
You can do whatever you want. It's your path. You're the one that's not awake. I'm not going down that path. I already did that path. It's done. So any questions about this, or is this helpful?
That's
really helpful.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Yeah. You always have to clear the air once in a while on what... There's a lot of beliefs and emotional attitudes bog things down at times, you know? And they kind of accumulate in you and people. And there should be no reason why everything in your life should have some form of satisfaction. You know, your work, your relationships, even what you eat, where you live, what you wear, what's meaningful to you, what books you read, they all should have satisfaction to you. I'm not talking about pleasurable fulfillment, I'm talking about satisfaction. And satisfaction does denote that you bring yourself to it, that you're going to have to put some energy into something. And also, like I said, when you look at anything you've done that you say, well, I'm kind of satisfied with myself with that, there was a lot of rough moments with it. You know, it wasn't all easy. It wasn't just, oh, yay! And yet, meditation gets a bad rap. All you do is sitting there. So what's the terrible bumps there? You're just sitting, or laying down, or standing up. I don't know how you do it, but yeah. So nothing really is happening. That's a terrible bump in meditation. You've all taken difficult hikes with me, and at certain points you're just begging internally, turn around. And you're like, I can't do it. The altitude is 10,000 feet. We're going up 3,000 feet. Oh my God, this is terrible. And then you did it and go, oh, then go back to the hotel or wherever we're at, and you all say, oh, that was so cool, we did that. Well, God, why can't you have that with meditation? You're just sitting there. It's not even
Going anywhere.
It's not hard. But everyone acts like meditation is the hardest thing you could ever do, and that you have to beat your mind in some kind of submission.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
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 You don't have to hate your mind. Your mind's not doing anything to you. It isn't. What do you think it's doing? It's just helping you. It's thinking thoughts so you can get up and wash the dishes and know how to do it. That's what mind is. It's an activity organizer. But once you're sitting down, it's not that much is required from it. So you don't have to try to make it submit to your will. Because in mind, you just say, oh, there's nothing going on.
Rest now.
And, you know, most of the thoughts you have about is get up and do something, and then I'll help you with do it. You know, here's all the thoughts that will help you with doing this, right? But otherwise, you just sit there. You don't really need it much, so it shouldn't really be that interfering with you, should it? So you can think thoughts while you're meditating, that's fine. You can think thoughts while you're playing music. You can think thoughts while you're hiking. You can think thoughts while you're breastfeeding. Does it mean that you're not breastfeeding? Does it mean that you're not hiking? Does it mean that you're not meditating? No. So when you're breastfeeding and you start thinking about how worried you are about the bank account, you look at the baby and say, I don't want to think those thoughts. I want to think thoughts about my baby, right? No. When you're hiking, you don't want to be thinking about paying your Macy's bill because you might, trip on the rock. You go, no, I want to pay attention to the hike and the nature. So when you're sitting in meditation, you want to think of other activities, particularly because, well, it's not...
You miss what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, it's messing up what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's pretty simple, right?
It sounded fantastic.
I know, I can make everything seem fantastic.
Hold on to it.
What's that?
Hold on to it. Remember it.
Well, he's making a video, you can watch it.
Thank you.
And then go, oh, I'm going to hold on to this! All I'm saying is, don't hold on to this! Or, you can think it. But see, whatever thoughts come to you in meditation are fine. The same way whatever thoughts come to you while you're doing the dishes is fine. Doesn't mean you have to run out of the room and do them. Does it? No. So we're not really confused about our thoughts the rest of the day. So if you have to get your job done, you have a thought about, geez, I think I should buy some more cat food. You don't run to the store and get the cat food. No. So meditation You don't run to do an activity because you have that thought, right? The same as any other activity. So if you're not running to do another activity and you're thinking thoughts while you're meditating, so what? Don't really have any great indication whether the meditation is satisfying or not.
Relax the thought. Relax the thought.
You've been trained to believe that spiritually in meditation, to be successful or satisfying, you really have to work on your thoughts. Stop them. See, thoughts stop naturally. I mean, you go to sleep at night and you got a deep sleep state. They just stop naturally. Every night you enter the state of unconscious enlightenment for a little while. And you get back up and what happens?
Download.
You're busy with your activity.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. You can't do all your activity while you're fast asleep. So it has to happen while you're, right? You have to feed your body. You got to keep it going. If you stayed in the deep sleep state, your body would just wither away because you wouldn't know enough to get up and eat. So it all is natural. It's not working against you. It's not working against your enlightenment. Nothing's working against your enlightenment. Then you might ask, well, why ain't I enlightened yet? Timing. It's all timing. Okay, so, we learned a lot about enlightenment and spirituality through the kind of man's way of looking at things, through a kind of strategy and a kind of science and a kind of philosophy. And all that's good. But it hasn't enlightened a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that I'm here to enlighten a lot of people either, but I'm offering another way to feel it, to understand. And if it's helpful for you, it's helpful for you. If other people think I'm stupid, I'm an idiot,
They're wrong.
at least I'm a happy one. And I still have love in my heart. I still feel the oneness of love
Unifying.
all the time. So, yeah, you can just be an ordinary slob and be enlightened. You don't have to be all that special. And then trying to convince a whole bunch of people that you're really special because you have powers or you have great philosophy or great teaching. Well, the reality is everybody's making up their own mind, whether they're going to meditate or not, whether they want to or not. But everybody's had some kind of oneness experience or some kind of love oneness experience, some kind of happiness love experience. And most people go on about their business and they forget about them until they have another one. And those seem to replenish each person's life a little bit, right? So life seems gets difficult, or it kind of seems tedious, or there's a lot of low-grade suffering, or traumatic events happen, or so boring. And then you have a oneness experience. And it could last like 5 seconds. That 5 seconds can be enough to say, oh, okay. Everything feels new again. Or it's worth it all. It's worth it. And so when people have that experience, they want it to stay. And they begin the spiritual path. And then they have this whole bunch of ideas and all these philosophies and all these books to read and all these strategies and plans and intense things they have to do to get there. Do you have to do intense things?
Just gotta sit home.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. But the rest of life is intense. You have to take care of 2 little kids. Go to work every day. There's certain things you have to do intense every day. You have to work when you have bad menstrual cramps, right? Mm-hmm. You have to work when you're old and your joints aren't working. So you have to do all sorts of things that are difficult. It's just the spiritual path of meditation doesn't really require anything more difficult than anything else. It really doesn't. It's natural. But it's the people who don't forget about the oneness experience. They want to return to it. They want to stay there and live their lives there. That's the seekers. Those are the spiritual aspirants. But then they create a whole complicated life that's on top of the already complicated life they're already having. And it just becomes very lifeless and humorless and loveless. And you have to go through all the levels. Different organizations, spiritual communities have different levels. The levels. Level 6, level 7, I don't know, clearer or whatever.
Yeah, clear.
Clear or something, yeah. Why do you have to go through levels for? In the end, you're just going to be someone who has the love experience, the oneness love experience, the happy oneness experience as your natural state. You don't leave it anymore. So no matter what's happening, whether you have irritable bowel syndrome today or not, it's still there. It doesn't go away. It starts bugging you. None of this matters because you're already happy. And you're like, you want to have irritable bowel syndrome? How could that be? Find out. Because everything will happen to enlightened people just as well as it happens to you guys. They suffer in the body just as much. They suffer, people loving them and leaving them just as much. They suffer everything. But what's different is they don't leave the oneness, understanding. Even all that's happening. So, mostly, if you look at most people's lives, and my life or your life, you just have the same rhythm every day, right? Pretty much count on, you're going to do this, do this, do this, this is going to happen. So there's a lot of space to just look and wait and see how that oneness is there. It's always there. It's a lot of space to see how happiness is lurking around every corner. My last name's Tantra, so I can reconcile from the worst experience and find happiness in it just by flipping perceptions. You can flip perceptions about everything. That's what you did tonight. I can't sit still. And then you said, I can sit still. It's not that hard. It's easy. So you flipped your perception. You can do that anytime you want. You're suffering anything, you can flip the perception. Doesn't mean you're instantly going to heal cancer or anything. But how you feel, how you live in it can be different. So you can flip your perception about meditation. Right? Mm-hmm. So the people say, meditation's hard, or I've been doing it a long time and I don't get anywhere, or I don't do it, or I'm not doing it. You can flip your perception. Because if I all said, we're doing half dome tomorrow, who's coming? Well, see, some people say, I'll do it anyways, I don't care. All right. Kind of know I'm not doing it, but... That's why all of you should have raised your hand. At least fake it. Only me and Everest are doing it tomorrow.
She's just standing there.
Next step.
Everest is going to get moving.
She's only one. What do you want out of me, Santosha?
She stands.
She can stand. She can dance. Going like this, but she can't walk yet.
I see.
Yeah, that's really cute. All right, so does that give you a different way to look at meditation? That's helpful?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, any questions about it? Any kind of...
Can't wait to meditate.
Good.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you have a lot of thoughts. You still can be satisfied. Because if you hiked Half Dome and you had a lot of thoughts, even complaining thoughts, it didn't mar the satisfaction, did it? No. So you just have to, do a little tantra with your meditation, flip it around. So when I had a lot of thoughts, I feel satisfied that I came and sat and was open to meditation today. And when you do that, when you relax all your mental way of looking at things and your emotional clamp on it, then you go, So if you look at, you've been meditating for 20 years, you say, I have a lot of satisfaction from meditation, for meditating for 20 years. I did all those hikes, and did all this art, did all this writing. Yeah. I didn't have to do any of it. Same way you don't have to do anything. The things you do have to do is keep your body alive, right? Yeah. So you have to do that. But even doing it well or better is satisfying, isn't it? Yeah. Instead of doing it poorly. Okay, so no other questions, no other statements.